So the topic of the day is, what is your biggest regret?
What is your biggest regret?
I think about that all the time, bro.
My biggest regret,
I have to say probably biggest regret would be not taking as many chances or opportunities. I always looked at things like, someone else will take care of that. I don't really have to worry about it. Then being out here, and you realize you gotta take care of yourself. You just can't expect everything to be handed out for you.
My most recent regret was being rude to my roommate Ian this weekend, and it really hurt our friendship. He was being really annoying all day, and it kind of got on my nerves. Yeah, I'd be nicer.
He also ate all the cosmic brownies, which were Miller's. Yeah, kind of robbed him out of that one.
Yeah.
I regret not spending more time with my mom. Shout out my mom.
I got cut from the high school tennis team, and I wish I put in more work in high school so I would have made the team.
I've had many regrets, but one that hits me every day, especially now when I wake up and look in the mirror, I feel a little small. I've always wanted to be big, but back then I was scared I was going to get too big, and people were going to look at me funny, and I was, going to be cool because I was big. But then now I realized, the older I got, now I realized, I don't really give a,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really care.
You end your athletic career, it's well, what's my dream now? Because all everyone tells me is that I'm just gonna work a job my whole life, and that is what our work is defined as, right? First you go to school, but you go to school to get a job. You don't go to school to become. And I think that we should all be in the process of becoming.
My most recent regret is not studying.
That's a hard one, dude. I gotta think for this one.
Take your time.
Okay. There's a big regret that I've ever had in my entire life.
Not paying attention in accounting classes. I just came from there. I have no idea what's going on.
Nah, dude, it was bad. It was really bad, dude. I failed that exam, but this next upcoming exam, dude, I'm studying my butt off for it, dude. This next upcoming exam, dude, it's gonna wish it was an algebra exam as well, dude.
studying enough for an exam that I took last week.
I might pay attention more, but I would still choose to ball.
Since this had a lot of topics and materials on it, I wasn't able to, get all those topics covered inside my head. They were somewhere out there, but they weren't inside my head, dude.
I think it was just kind of I kept being able to put it off because there's always more time until it happens,
I could pass while balling or pass without it, so I choose to ball.
And I feel confident, dude. I feel like the B- goal that I've had, dude, is gonna be achieved. Like if I'm running a race, dude, I'm gonna get to the first place line for that B-. Not for they, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
I would say my biggest regret in my life would be just kind of for multiple things, just not letting people know how much I care about them. It's caused me to lose a lot of relationships. I've almost lost a lot of relationships through that, and one of the biggest ones was one of my friends from high school who I kind of took granted our friendship, and then he recently passed away, but it taught me a lot more about myself. Through regret, you learn the most important things about yourself, and I think that's a very important lesson that a lot of people need to understand is just, don't take things in relationships for granted because you don't know how long you have them.
I would definitely be a lot more critical of what I chose to do here, at WSU at school, because I ended up doing economics for my major, which is great, provides a lot of job security. I can kind of just go wherever and fill whatever business job needs filling, but I'm here, I'm a senior now, and I'm here at the end of my journey, and I'm did I use this time to the best that I could have? I could have done so many different things, but at the end, I'm just kind of like a jack of all trades. I love writing in whatever medium, just getting thoughts out of my head onto paper, whether it's, fantasy, I grew up watching Lord of the Rings and all that stuff. And I've got a gig lined up for when I graduate already, which is super awesome, and I'm grateful for that. But it's that difference between security and fulfillment.
My biggest regret is getting suspended in high school while drinking in my freshman year.
Freshman year? Okay. Do you remember what the principal said to you?
Not really, because I was pretty wasted, not gonna lie.
I think, in a weird way, my biggest regret is quitting football. But, in the long run, it's not a huge mistake, I guess.
And why did you quit football?
Personal. See, okay, I'm straight up honest. I got bullied a lot, honestly, by my teammates and my coaches. And it wasn't typical like sports hazing. Like I've played sports for a very long time, and it wasn't like that. It straight up was just a really bad experience, and I thought, why not spend time doing something that I'm actually really passionate about? Not like I wasn't passionate about football, but passionate about doing something and knowing that I'm good at it, knowing that no one can tell me that I can't do it. Looking back, if I stayed in, I wouldn't have gotten the opportunities and experiences that I've gotten due to the path that I chose. So honestly, I don't think I'd change it for a day.
My biggest regret, probably, I'm sorry, this is a little much, but probably chasing my sister around the house with a knife while no one was home. So.
May I ask why you're chasing your sister around the house with a knife?
Well, I feel like when you have siblings, there's one that chases the other with the knife, and then there's the one that runs. So I wanted to terrorize her, but I regret it, I swear. I never want to do that again. I think it started probably when we were 6 or 7, and then it didn't end until I was about 15, so.
This was probably one of the last songs I played before basically all my hard work in high school started downhill spiral. And so this song I really like a lot. It's called Melody in Search of a Musical, and it's by Graham Lyons. So it's really good.
The more as time passed, the more I realized who I was, the more I became more comfortable with who I was, the more I started liking myself for just being me.
Just trying to live every day to the fullest, man. That's all I can do is like, you can look at the past and try and be upset about stuff. You can try and look at the past and get hung up about it, but it's in the past, you can't change it.
At the end of the day, the people around you is what's most important.
Like if I was just a bit more persistent, maybe my life would be different.
No.
That's amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I haven't played that song in a while.